What's good, y'all? It's your good name, sister, the real gym. I'm in the gym, whatever you want to call me, whichever you want to call me. Just know I'm back with another video. Period.
Need you for the old me. Need you for my sanity. Need you to remind me where I come from. Can you with
Today I'm going to be doing a girl talk, a little chit chat or whatever. I'm going to be really dropping some gems for y'all. I'm going to be talking about relationships, virginity, insecurities, toxic relationships, and self-love. And I had some people ask me some questions or give me some suggestions on Instagram, so we're also going to be talking about that. But before we get into this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. If you're new to my channel, what's good, what's poppin'? And if you're not new to my channel, what's good? I'm glad you're back. So let's get into this video. And basically all the advice that I give is based off of personal experience that I've gone through myself. It could be based off of something somebody else I know went through or whatever. Just life lessons that I've learned, you know? So hope you guys enjoy it. Let's get into this. So first we're gonna start off with a question that someone asked me on Instagram. So I had a guy ask me, how do girls wash their vaginas or their, you know, area, because somebody told me that you can't put soap in it. The vagina is the internal part. People describe the vagina as like the entire part, but the vagina is actually the part that's inside. So yes, a girl cannot put soap inside of there because, I mean, it's gonna burn and it's gonna throw off your pH balance. You could get BV, you could get a yeast infection, all of the above. What we do as women is we wash the outer parts, the part that's on the outside. Girls are not supposed to wash like their vaginal area with any like scented soap or anything like that. Like, you're supposed to use like delicate soaps. Like for me personally, I use Dove sensitive soap, but you don't want to use anything with like perfume or fragrance down there because it'll throw your pH balance off, and you just don't want that to happen. That's the answer to that question. So now we're gonna get into the topic of relationships, and I'm gonna give my opinion and my advice. My take on relationships is, I don't even think relationships at this age is really important. I'm 19 years old, so I'm still a teenager. As a teenager, you know, relationships really not that deep. Like, I don't think they're that deep. Like, it's not the end of the world if you're not in a relationship. If you are in a relationship, that's fine. As long as your relationship is a respectful relationship, it's a good relationship, and you're happy, then by all means be in your relationship. I'm just saying, for like anybody who's not in a relationship or anybody who's like single and wanting to be in a relationship, you really shouldn't feel like you have to be in a relationship. Like, there's nothing wrong with being single. I had to learn this for myself. Not saying that I ever was like feeling for a relationship, but like, you know, sometimes the idea of having somebody that like loves you and that you go on dates with and that you could just be close to is like all good, and it's all like, you know, nice to think about, nice to hear. The reality is that relationships are hard, they're difficult sometimes. It's a lot to it. It's a lot. If you've been in a relationship, you know what I mean. So if you're not ready for that, that's fine. Or if you just haven't found somebody yet, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with being by yourself. Like, being by yourself is cool. You get to know yourself, you get to love yourself. Sometimes like you just gotta level up by yourself. Like, you don't need a relationship to take you to the next level, you know? I think that this day and age, like, social media definitely puts pressure on being in a relationship, and it also, I feel like it makes it harder to be in a relationship. There's this constant debate about whether or not it's the people that's in the relationship or if it's social media, but I feel like it's a little bit of both. Like, at the end of the day, social media is like really a part of our lives nowadays. So, you know, when girls get upset because their guy's not posting them, like, to me that's a valid reason to be upset. If your dude could post about everything else on social media, he can post to other people on social media, whatever the case may be, he could definitely post to you. And people say it's not a big deal if somebody didn't post to you. Yes it is, because at the end of the day, this is 2021, everybody's pretty much on social media. You don't have to post your relationship business on Facebook, but like, you should at least acknowledge the fact that you have a girlfriend, and you should post it from time to time. Like, if your girlfriend's telling you that she wants to be posted, that she wants you to show her off, what's the big deal? Like, why would you not want to do that? That's a small thing to do to make a girl happy, and that's just my opinion. I don't really care who disagrees, but yeah. Now we're gonna get into the next question that I was asked on Instagram. I was asked, I gotta look, so I'm looking down, so I'm looking on my phone. So yeah, the person said, why do females make eye contact? You know, that come talk to me, eye contact, then be like, I got a man. And he said, motherfucker, you just stared me down. Okay, this, like, that question is really mattering to me. I would say that there's a high chance, like, I mean, it could just be that the girl just finds you attractive. I don't like staring. I don't stare at people, and I don't like people staring at me. But if you find yourself attractive, or you know that you're attractive, or whatever the case may be, if someone's staring at you, it could just be the fact that they find you attractive, you know? The fact that they say that they have a man, it could just be that, like, you know, maybe she was looking at you, she thought she was cute, but she's not trying to act on it. Because at the end of the day, you could be in a relationship, everybody knows that, well, if you don't know, I'm gonna tell you, your boyfriend or your girlfriend, they find other people attractive. and there's nothing wrong with that. What's wrong is if you are acting on those emotions, you're acting on, like, you know, telling the people that they're cute and like trying to go after them, trying to seek them. But just thinking it, there's nothing wrong with that. Even though they think you're cute, doesn't mean they want to be with you. And also, like, don't make assumptions on why somebody's staring at you. Like, I say, like, ignore it. Like, when people stare at me, I get annoyed, but I don't really make assumptions on why they're staring at me. Like, I don't think like, oh yeah, he's looking at me because he want me, or she's looking at me because she's hating. Like, I don't think all about that. I just be like, okay, bitch, they got me, they're weird as fuck, and I just keep it pushing. Like, say no, I look good. Okay, and that's it for that question. Next topic we're gonna get into is virginity. Virginity. Okay, so this is really gonna be like for like my youngins. I feel like for people who are still virgins. So my advice about virginity, for one, personally, I believe that virginity is a big thing. Like, I don't know, like, some people probably feel like it's not that big of a deal or whatever. To me, it's a big deal because at the end of the day, you're a girl, and everybody knows that us girls, us women, whatever, we're more emotional when it comes to things like that. So you want to be careful about who you're choosing to lose it to. And I say this because, for one, I'm about to really give y'all some tea, okay? Some real life lessons, okay? Guys definitely can say and do anything to get what they want, and you know what I'm talking about. When I say be careful about who you're losing it to, make sure the guy is somebody that you really care about and that you know cares about you, because at the end of the day, you don't want to just lose to anybody. Because I've seen it happen to other girls. Like, guys will literally do that with a girl and then tell everybody about it, or just like lie about it, like whatever case may be. Like, just go about it the wrong way. Like, you do not want to be in that situation because it could be very embarrassing, it could be very hurtful, and like, just to avoid all of that, just make sure you're sure about who, like, the guy and how he feels about you. Also, understand that if a guy really does like you, he's not gonna pressure you into doing that. Like, he's not gonna keep bringing it up, he's not gonna make you feel uncomfortable or anything like that. If you've already told the guy like you don't want to do that, or that's not what's on your mind, and he doesn't respect it and he keeps talking about it, he keeps bringing it up, then you just need to go ahead and let that go, because clearly that's all he's going for, because he would have dropped it, or he probably would have never even brought it up in the first place. If a guy asks you one time, that's okay, you know, you have to ask questions to know the answers. But if you tell him like you don't want to talk about it no more, you're not comfortable, or you don't want to do it, then that should be the end of it. Like, he shouldn't be brought up again unless it's brought up by you. So if a guy can't respect that, then you really don't need to be dealing with him, because again, if a guy really likes you, he's going to wait. And if a guy really likes you, that's probably gonna be the last thing on his mind. Even if he's thinking about it, that's not the only thing he's concerned about, you know, if he really is interested in you. Also, just like, don't get pressured by society. I feel like nowadays young girls are like growing up a little bit too fast. They're doing too much at a young age. So don't let any of that get into your brain. Like, there's nothing wrong with being young, acting your age. That's what's up. Like, if you're acting your age, you're being a child, you're being appropriate, that's what's up. Don't let these young girls who are doing too much at a young age, being fast, acting grown, you know, they're 15 but they're acting like they're 19. Like, that's not cool. Like, you don't want to be like that, because at the end of the day, you don't want to grow up too fast. Like, there's plenty of time to grow up, and like, life really hits you like once you graduate from high school and stuff. And like, I would do anything to go back to when I was younger and stuff wasn't that serious. Stay young as long as you can. Be a child, be a young lady, do what you gotta do, but like, don't ever feel pressure into having sex with no guy, because at the end of the day, like I said, if he likes you, he's not even gonna be trying to do all of that. If you do decide to make that decision, take that step, make sure you're using protection. So that means, yes, use a condom, period. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to get pregnant at a young age. I mean, if you do, that's your business, but I would think that you wouldn't want to get pregnant at a young age, and you do not want to get an STD, especially for your first time. That would be terrible, you know? So just make sure you're using protection, make sure you're sure, make sure you're being safe. And yeah, hope that resonates with whoever needed that. Like, I really hope it does. Okay, so my next question that I got asked on Instagram was, how do you deal with the idea practice of femininity being forced on women? So I'm not sure if I'm fully understanding this question, but I feel like this question is asking me like, how do I feel about like people thinking that a woman has to do this, that, and the third just because she's a woman. The way I feel about that is like, I don't really believe in like people like confirming to gender roles. Like, I feel like there's not always things that like only men could do, only women could do. My opinion on it is that like, it's corny. Like, just because a woman is a woman doesn't mean she has to do this. This topic usually presents itself in the idea of like sex, this whole body count thing, and how a woman should act, and how many men a woman should sleep with, and this, that, and third, how many kids she should have, should she have kids or not. Like, all of that type of stuff, I feel like it's just too much. Guys, it annoy me so bad, because like, a guy will literally be like, okay, I'm not dating a girl who has more than 3 bodies, but he has over 20. Like, what? I think just because you're a man or because you're a guy, like, that's acceptable. No. At the end of the day, have the same standards for yourself that you have for somebody else. So if you want a girl who only has 2 to 3 bodies or whatever case may be, then you should only have 2 to 3 bodies. Like the same way guys don't want their girl to be ran through, girls don't want a guy who's been ran through either. It goes both ways. Like, I don't know why they think that's valid. In the case of kids too, I've seen women argue with another woman and say things like, you know, oh, that's why I'm married, that's why I have kids. Bro, that is not an insult. Like, some women genuinely do not want kids, and some women genuinely do not want to be married. Like, that should never be an insult to no woman. Like, that's so corny, that's childish. Like, don't ever try to put a woman down because she's not married yet, she don't have kids yet. Like, what if you, how do you know that she even wants that? Like, it's just real corny, and I don't like people say that. So I don't know if I answered that question right, but like, I feel like I did. And there's other things that I could cover, but I'm not gonna go. So unfortunately, my camera like lost space while I was already recording, but I'm back now. Period. Let's get this video rolling. The next topic I want to cover is insecurities. As a woman, a young woman, I definitely have had my share of insecurities. Most of them are physical, but you could definitely have some like inner insecurities, you know, like things that nobody really could see, but like, you know it's there, or you know that it bothers you, you know. I would just say, like, as a young woman, it's hard to deal with insecurities. I'll say especially nowadays since we have social media, and I would say like social media plays a big role in insecurities because obviously now you're seeing what people's standard of beauty is, and you see like a certain type of woman or whatever, a type of look being praised, and if you feel like you don't fit that look, of course it might make you feel some type of way about how you look, or it might make you feel insecure. Do not let like this social media stuff get in your head. Like half of the time, a lot of these girls that's on social media, they don't look like that in real life, or maybe they like editing their pictures, but like even if they're not, the fact of the matter is you are who you are. You look the way you look. Be happy with yourself. Like, you're never gonna really love yourself or really be happy if you're always looking at other girls or other women, whatever, and comparing yourself. Like, be happy with what you got. Like, if you know that you're beautiful, you know you look good, then embrace that. Be confident. At the end of the day, confidence speaks volumes. Like, I hope that was good advice. Like, I'm not sure, but like, all in all, I just want y'all to understand, like, you are who you are. For my next question, someone asked me what's my skin routine. I don't even think my skin looks that good, but I can show y'all what I use, so just give me 1 second and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back, and like, this is what I use on my face. It is Dickinson's Enhanced Witch Hazel Hydrating Toner with Rose Water, the pink bottle. Basically, I use this, and I like, basically I pour this inside of this cotton pad or whatever, and then to wipe it on my face. And I also use this as a moisturizer. These Ponds, it's like really cheap. It's like $2 at Family Dollar or something, $1, I don't know. But it's also a toner. It's like basically supposed to like remove the dark spots. I don't know if I could see it. Yeah, I don't know. Literally all I use on my face. Like, sometimes I do use like face mask and stuff, but like, that's very rare, you know. That's what I use every day, so I don't really use too much on my skin. The next topic I'm going to cover is toxic relationships. Boy, I've been in a toxic relationship before, so I know all about this firsthand. And like, I just want to say that like, being toxic in a relationship, if that's what you want to do in your relationship, that's what you're happy doing, then go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. That's your business. There's no point in being in a relationship if it's not serving you any purpose. If it's making you miserable, unhappy, if it's making you act a certain way that you don't want to act, like it's taking you out of like your character, like you shouldn't be in that relationship. Like, there's really no point. Like, in my opinion, a relationship is supposed to help build you up. Not saying that you should be with somebody just so they can build you up, but like, your relationship should be elevating you. Like, you know, and you doing shit that's gonna make me elevate. Y'all both should be trying to make each other better and doing better. Toxic relationships, they're so draining. They're so like depressing. Like, it's just no point in being in a relationship if it's toxic. I'm sorry. Some people really do like toxic relationships, and if you do like it, then that's your business. Like, really, that's your business. Like, I can't really, no, I can't really speak on that. It's not good for your health to be in a toxic relationship. And also for like any girls out there, if you're dealing with a toxic relationship, like, I understand how hard it is to leave somebody alone, especially when you care about them, you love them, but at the end of the day, you're gonna do yourself more of a favor by leaving than by staying. Because think about it, like, the longer you stay, the worse it's gonna get. It's not gonna get better, it's gonna get worse. And you're gonna like pretty much become immune to it, to the point where like, when you finally do leave that relationship, you're gonna be damaged. Like, you're gonna be at a point where like, you're not even yourself anymore. You're probably not gonna trust men anymore. You're probably gonna be very insecure, have low self-esteem, and like, you don't even want to get to that point. Leave as soon as you can, you know. and just like be okay with being alone. Like, I know it's hard sometimes. You just really have to learn to be okay with being alone. Get out the house sometimes, go hang out with friends, or do whatever like could keep your mind off that relationship and stuff. I'm not with toxic shit, so yeah, keep that to yourself. Stay over there, that way, that way, that way, that way, that way. For my next topic, it's kind of similar to the last one, but it's basically like getting out of a relationship. The first step of moving on is to block. Block, block, block. Say it with me. Block. You have to block that person. I don't care. Like, a lot of people, like, I don't know about y'all, I'm 100% comfortable blocking people. Like, it's nothing to me. Like, you're gonna get blocked quick. I know for some people it's hard to block people, but like, you just have to do it. You're not gonna move on if you're continuously seeing the person's page, their pictures, what they're posting, what they're talking about. If you keep looking on their page, all of that, none of that is going to help you move on. If you're talking to them still, it's not gonna help you move on. The first step is to block them. And when I say block them, I mean block them on everything. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, block their phone number, all that. No contact, no contact. The next step I would say is deleting pictures, deleting messages, whatever. Like, whatever could keep you from like going back and looking at stuff like with that person, just delete it. If you really don't want to delete the pictures for whatever reason, at least put them somewhere where you won't easily see them. Put them in like your my eyes only, put them in a backup file, hide them out of your camera roll, whatever the case may be. Just don't try to look at the pictures and stuff. Like, that's gonna make you miss the person. It's gonna make you reminisce and stuff. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Don't try to think about all the good stuff, because I feel like sometimes when you're like in a breakup or something, you try to convince yourself that y'all meant to be together. You'll start thinking about all the good things they did for you, all the good things that y'all went through together, all the good times y'all had together. Bro, don't do that. Like, at the end of the day, y'all broke up for a reason. So I would just say, like, when you feel yourself start to think about all the good things, just remember why you broke up with that person in the first place, why you're not together with that person in the first place, you know, because them good memories are going to lead you to the road back in that person's arms. You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that. Okay. Like I said earlier, try to find a new hobby, do things to keep your mind off of it, you know, go out, hang out with your friends, get you a new job. Bro, people keep texting me and it's about to piss me off. So just do anything you can to keep your mind off of it. If you keep practicing these habits, you keep practicing this, eventually you're going to become more and more okay with it, and eventually you're going to move on. It's a difficult process and you really have to be ready to do it, because if you're not ready, you're going to keep going back to that person. Until you're ready, just try your hardest to like move on. Like, that's the best advice I could give. It took me a long time, so I understand if it's taking somebody else a long time. When you finally do move on, you're going to be happy. Next, so another question that I got from Instagram is, why it's so difficult for women to build up other women? This question, I wouldn't say it's gonna be hard for me to answer, because I don't feel like that to me. Like, I don't feel like I've been in that position where I don't want to build another woman up. However, I can only answer this question from like the outside in. So I would definitely say, like, one reason could be like jealousy. Like, I could be wrong, but I feel like women are more prone to being jealous, and I think it's just because of society. Like, we're taught to, like, we always have to look good, we always have to have our hair done, we always have to be dressed nice, we always have to be this, that, and the third. That idea, combined with like the fact that, like, you know, like, a lot of times society is teaching women that, you know, men are the goal. Like, the goal is to get you a good man, the goal is to get married, the goal is to have kids, the goal is to do this, to do that. So I feel like all these things kind of put pressure on women to like feel like they always have to be like the best, they have to look the best, they have to do the best and stuff. I don't even know if this is making sense, but like, this is just my idea. Like, I feel like that kind of plays a role in it. Just think about it. Like, when it comes to like rapping, this is like a huge thing, like female rap. So why is it that men are able to rap and there's like millions of male rappers, and like hardly ever do you see these men get compared, or do you ever see people say like, oh, who's the better rapper, who's the better rapper? But every time we have new female rappers or any type of rapper that's upcoming or starting to really blow up, there's always a comparison between that rapper and an older rapper or another rapper who's just as good, or whatever the case may be. It's like people are constantly always putting women against each other, and I feel like that really does, bro. Why? Like, why? I'm trying to do a video. I feel like that really does put pressure on women to feel like they have to be the best at everything. They have to compete with each other. Like, it's really sad, because like, at the end of the day, I feel like women, we should really support each other more in general. Like, I feel like I'd be supporting other women, but a lot of women really will hate on you and really be jealous of you, and it's just like, why? Like, we could be cute together, we could do good together, we could be bosses together. Like, it doesn't have to be one person over the other, you know? That's just not a good trait to have. Like, I promise you it's not. And if you're really jealous of somebody, be honest with yourself, because jealousy is really deep rooted in other things. Like, you might be jealous of a woman and it's probably because of something that you went through as a child, or it might be based off of some trauma you had, or something that somebody said to you that really hurt you, and so now you're projecting projecting your own insecurities out onto another woman, and like that's a huge problem. Like that's something that you really need to like look into and get fixed and like work on. So if you're being jealous or if you're being a hater, be honest with yourself. Like I know that's hard to do because like nobody wants to admit that they're a hater or that they're jealous, but like be real with yourself, because being real with yourself is the first step to being better. You know, you're never gonna get through life, you're never gonna build yourself up, you're never gonna get better if you're always lying to yourself and telling yourself that you're perfect and there's nothing wrong with you. No, that's not gonna work. Everybody has problems that they need to work on. So when you be honest with yourself, you're gonna get better, and until you do that, you're not gonna get better. Last topic that I'm going to be covering is self-love. Kind of already talked about the self-love thing with the relationship stuff, but I just want to say, like, for my final little word or whatever, self-love is truly important, okay? And this is something that I can say from my own experience, and other people probably feel the same way. Until you really love yourself, you're gonna find yourself unhappy with a lot of things, and it's because you're not seeing your own worth and your own value. You can't expect other people to see it, or you can't expect other people to value you if you're not valuing yourself. Like, that's so important. The more you love yourself, the more you value yourself, what other people think and how other people act towards you, it's not gonna bother you as much, because at the end of the day, nobody's gonna be loved by everybody. Nobody. My camera keeps losing space, so it keeps stopping. Like, it's really getting my nerves. But back to what I was saying, nobody's gonna be loved by everybody. You have to be okay with that. Like, you have to be okay with that. Some people are just not gonna like you. Some people are just not gonna want to be around you. It's fine as long as you're happy with yourself. That's what truly is important, because you're gonna always feel some type of way about everything somebody does if you're not seeing yourself as worthy, if you're not loving yourself. So do that. Love yourself. There's nothing wrong with that. Like, once you start loving yourself and you start putting yourself first, and you start seeing the good in yourself and start trying to be better, everything else in your life is going to change, and it's going to change for the good. So just understand that, and like try your hardest to do it, you know. And I understand like certain situations and certain issues that you go through could definitely hurt your self-esteem and make you feel bad about yourself, but like just try your hardest and get out of that mindset, you know. It's not going to help you, it's really going to make things worse. So just try your hardest, okay? So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. That's it for my little girl talk chit chat. So make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe. And if you're new to my channel, what's good, what's pop? Thank you guys so much. Make sure y'all cop some merch from my website. I'm gonna have the link in the description box down below, and I'm out, you guys. Bye.